Well, I thought it anyway. Last I would print it for them.
2023.
Council, does it give you please leaders off the screen?
Almighty God, be with us as we work for the people of the Shire of Moorabool. Grant us wisdom that we may care for the Shire as the stewards of your creation. May we be aware of the great responsibilities placed upon us and help us to be just in all our dealings, and may our work prosper for the good of all. Amen.
I respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the spirits and their ancestors. So welcome, and welcome, a special welcome to the Providence gang.
Thank you.
I see that we have a document we're going to present very early in the meeting. I think we have a speaker to that as well. So for those that haven't been to a council meeting before, the meeting will be recorded for accuracy in terms of the press. And if somebody wants or needs to listen to the tape later to find out what they've said or not said, it will be available to them. So firstly, we'll see who is present. We have two apologies, one from Councillor Tilley and one from Councillor Bingham, unavailable this evening. So we'll move into confirmation of minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Those in favour. So carried. So at this point, I'll ask you if there's any conflicts of interest on any of the items on the agenda this evening.
Mr Mayor, yes, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest in item 12.1, and the conflict is that I am a surveyor carrying out work on behalf of the developer Bellevue Thompson Cross Limited. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Did you notify me before we get into this? Thank you. So at this point, we've got anything for public questions on? No. So we'll move straight into petitions, which we have one.
Mr Mayor, we have a petition signed by 284 individuals that have been received requesting a pedestrian crossing on Griffith Street, Mattingly, and a bus stop shoulder on the northern side of the road opposite the southern shoulder, so that they may safely cross the busy street. Further, whilst the petition does not state this, they are also requesting that the roundabout on the corner of Griffiths and Grand Street be modified as to be accessible to ride scooters on across Griffiths and Grand Street. At present, the entry and exit of the pedestrian track does not align with the safe movement between the two roads.
And before we move to see that, we do have to speak out. Sylvia, you're going to say a few words on that?
Yes, I do. I've not changed my resolve. I'm still very serious, and we're all very determined that we need that pedestrian crossing on Grand Street. I don't know whether you heard or not, but last night on the news, the fatality concerning elderly people being killed on the roads has increased. They're trying to improve more safety measures, and I think this pedestrian crossing will be our safety measure that we need to cross the road safely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So again, all we'll do is receive this petition for a response. So if I could ask the council.
I'll move to receive it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor Kerr. And those in favour? So carried. So your petition has now been done.
Thank you.
Right. So we'll move on to Chief Executive Officer reports, and we'll move on to 11.1, adoption in principle of the 18-19 financial statements for submission to the Victorian Auditor General certification.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Tonight the Council will consider the 2018-19 financial statements for adoption in principle and submit these statements to the Auditor General for certification. As a member of the Audit and Risk Committee, it is with great confidence that I stand before my colleagues and the community to ask that the recommendation as set out in this report is adopted. The accounts highlight that the Council is in a strong position and will deliver significant ongoing benefits to the community. Firstly, in my capacity as a member of the Audit and Risk Advisory Committee, it is heartening to hear our external auditors and the Auditor General has given us a clean bill of health as part of the most recent audit. There were no adverse findings or management issues raised as part of this audit. Our auditors noted that it was the first time in their experience that the Auditor General has received a set of annual accounts and not raised one single issue. This gives me great confidence that we have our own house in order and with good systems, process and strong internal collaboration across our business units. But perhaps the most importantly, as a councillor and community, we need to draw special attention to what some of the key results in the annual statement of accounts are telling us. Our income statement is strong and we posted a healthy surplus. Strong revenue growth combined with responsible cost control will continue to hold us in good stead in this area. It will also underpin our ability to grow the capital program in the future. The benefit of this can be seen in the 1920 capital program of $26.9 million. The growth and improvement in the members is there for all to see. It is therefore a credit to the Council that it has posted a strong set of accounts in the face of significant obstacles and strategic challenges. I also applaud the work of the Council and the organisation in providing effective stewardship and control over its limited resources. It is also pleasing to note that the capital replacement is greater than what our depreciation is on our road system, which is an absolutely magnificent result. Thank you, Councillor.
And you move the recommendation?
And I'll move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor. Does there any questions? No, those in favour? So carried. Okay, we'll move on to item 11.2. Councillor Dudley.
Okay. Tonight the Council will consider the 2018-19 performance statements for adoption in principle and submit these statements to the Auditor General for certification. As a fellow member of the Audit and Risk Committee with Councillor Keogh, it is with great confidence that I can stand before my colleagues and the community to highlight some of the key aspects which demonstrate that Council is in a strong position and will deliver significant ongoing benefits to the community. At recent Audit Committee meetings, our auditors made glowing comments around the improvements and timeliness of the performance statements. In particular, note was made as to the quality of the commentary contained in the actual document, which is written by the Council staff, which have done an excellent job. The performance statements add another level of detail to the information contained in the annual accounts and highlight the continued improvement and strength in the indicators. The report highlights that in most of the measured indicators, Moorabool Shire significantly outperforms the state average. This will become apparent when the statewide numbers are formally published in the coming months. I'd like you to note the following. Moorabool Shire's expenditure on asset renewal was 124% of its depreciation. There's not too many councils that are spending this much of their capital budget on asset renewal. Our capital program in 2017-18 was 1.7 times greater than our reported depreciation, which highlights Council's commitment to capital investment for a rapidly growing population. And our underlying operating result was 7.96%, which is a critical measure of our underlying sustainability and shows that Council is generating a surplus in its operating budget. It is therefore a credit to Council that it's not only posted a strong set of financial numbers, but a strong set of performance measures in the face of significant obstacles and strategic challenges. And I applaud the work of the Council and the organisation in providing effective stewardship and control over its limited resources. And I move the recommendation in the papers.
Thank you, Councillor. Any questions, Councillors? Seconded. No, seconded. Thank you, Councillor Chair. Any objections? No, those in favour? So carried. So we'll move on to item 11.3, which is 2018-19 Governance and Management Checklist.
I'm happy to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Dudley. Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Right, we'll move on to 11.4, which is appointment of acting CEO. Councillors.
I move the recommendation, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Thank you, Councillor Chair. Any questions?
Yeah, I did have a question, Mr Mayor. In that report, the reason for having an acting CEO is that our CEO is travelling away on business, but I see that we're not paying for that. It's self-funded. Is that normal practice?
I'm on the CEO, so that's all.
It's different. I probably just feel it's an opportunity to go and speak to some investors that are actually operating within the Shire, and more than happy to cover the cost of the flight accommodation.
Well, commendable, Mr CEO.
Yeah. Taking the lead.
Any other questions? No? We'll move to the second. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Okay, we'll move on to item 11.5, instrument of delegation council to members of council staff other than the CEO.
I'm happy to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Dudley. Thank you, Councillor Kerr. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Okay, we'll move into community development reports. I must commend the work of doing these reports for the order of the year, which is fantastic. Very easy to follow in terms of the agenda. So for 12.1 we do have a speaker, and this is the proposed land exchange for Bellevue Tops Estate at Bacchus Lane.
Sorry, I just wish to note a conflict of interest,
Yes.
and I will leave the chamber.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going too quick.
Here it does.
I wish.
Helen is it?
That's all about King. So, right.
Mr Mayor,
I've got a speaker.
on second thoughts, I consider I've got a perceived conflict of interest, so I'll leave the chamber.
We're going to run out of people.
Can we actually do it with that many people?
We won't have a quorum.
Can we phone a friend?
Councillor Kerr, what's your conflict of interest, please? If you'd like to say privately,
my arrangement with Rusdell, who is the contractor for Bellevue Tops.
Well, we better move to defer this item, if that's the case. I must apologise to Mr. McMaster, we're missing two councillors and we haven't got a quorum. So we've got two bit of conflict on top of that, so I must apologise for the inconvenience. I'm sure Councillor Kerr will apologise later. I'm not noting it earlier. It would make my life easier. Did I say that often enough? So yes, I must apologise. So can I ask the council to move to defer?
I move to defer this item to the next council meeting.
Just a procedural question, Mr Mayor.
Yeah,
If we've got a conflict, do we have enough to defer it?
well, we can conflict.
I'll second it.
defer
We're not allowed to ring one of the councillors up?
Yeah, I think phone a friend's answer this one. So that, in light of it's not going to make any difference to the end result of
Yeah.
the defer.
Yeah, it's a procedural. This is a procedural change of land recording.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're missing it. So we moved to the second, those in favour? It's okay, the matters, I must apologise, Mr. Bass, I had known we wouldn't have, we came out to wait another month, unfortunately, so,
Unless he wants it to go to the day.
I don't think it can. It's already been in your It's not an issue. So. Councillor Sullivan, we had to have a deferral because we have a late conflict.
Late scratching.
Yeah, late scratching race 3. So, we'll come back at the next meeting. So that's all. So, right. So we'll move on to item 12.2. I'm just waiting. Right. Conference, right. And we have Blair Mather to speak. And you're the applicant, Blair.
Yeah, correct. I represent Boral
You were here
Resources.
last meeting before.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, councillors. I'll be brief. I just want to endorse the recommendation of council in this regard. I noticed when I was before you last time, you gave us some homework, and rightly so. So we went away and we engaged with the neighbours, in particular Mr. Ryan, who was one of our budding neighbours. And I understand Councillor Sullivan has subsequently had discussions with Mr. Ryan as well around how we could address his concerns. They were principally fire egress in the event of a fire emergency, and the other one was around movement of stock feed that he does, an activity he undertakes approximately once a year. So we've reached an agreement with Mr. Ryan around that, and I think that's detailed in the agenda. There's a plan that's been tabled, which shows the alternative access arrangements along Boral's western boundary, and then another alternative boundary in the event of a fire to exit the site to the north. So I'd like to thank Ms. Morrow as well for arranging a meeting with CFA. So we met with CFA to discuss this proposal and address their concerns, and they subsequently, I understand, have provided an agreement to that as well. They're comfortable and satisfied that we've addressed their concerns around fire egress in the event of an emergency. So, look, as I said, fully endorse the recommendation of the council officer. Happy to take any questions if you have any.
Councillors, any questions?
I just have one. I understand you've certainly had negotiations or discussions with the one of the affected landowners, Mr. Wright.
Correct.
Have you actually, I understand you've sort of been exchanging emails and what have you, but do you actually have anything in writing from him to say that he accepts what you're proposing?
There is, yes, and we've forwarded that on to the relevant officer.
Okay, because I had a conversation with him today and he said he hadn't actually had it, just hadn't had a document before him to sign anything, that was all.
Yeah, correct. So there's a document that needs to be drafted, which is a land access agreement. So that's a formal arrangement protecting Mr. Ryan and protecting Boral as well around any adverse position claims. So it's in our interest as well as Mr. Ryan's that we enter into that agreement.
Yeah. Will that sort of agreement be ongoing and not sort of tied to the current owner?
Good question. If it's around, there's certainly the fire egress is designed to ongoing perpetuity for public and the like. The agreement regarding the land access agreement is principally with him because it's designed to address his principal concern, or his secondary concern actually, around the movement of stock feed, which, as I said, he undertakes, I think, once a year, and there's approximately, he makes maybe 20 or 30 trips in one day, over the period of, per annum. So the agreement's designed to address his particular concern around that. Any subsequent landowners, we haven't really discussed that. Obviously, the intent is that it will run as long as he is operating that land, certainly.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Councillor
Yeah.
any other questions, councillors?
Other council, question of officers.
Yes.
Of Mr. Oh, okay. I actually went out and had a look at this road. I've been there before, but I actually went and looked at it before today. It's actually, I got photos of it. It's actually a fairly substantially constructed road. It's not. This is not some minor unnamed road, and it's a road that actually gets considerable amount of usage. Because you know, you can tell by the wear of the road itself. It's gravel road, swale drains, and it's been maintained, perhaps a little bit better in some places. But so I guess, have we done traffic counts on this road to determine what is the volume of traffic that uses the road?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have it on hand.
Yeah, certainly, if I could answer. But we certainly undertook traffic counts earlier on. As I said, when I was here last time, I think this has been ongoing for 5 or 6 years. And the counts at that time indicated that there were 3 vehicle movements per day, and they related to one of the neighbours that we subsequently acquired as property. Other than that, it's not maintained at all. The council certainly doesn't maintain it. We've graded it now and again.
You want to have a look at it?
I'd like to guess or something.
Well, there are a number of unmade roads throughout the municipality, unformed, unmade. In some places you wouldn't even know there's a road there. But this is not one of them. I'm wondering why we're even doing this, to be honest with you. I've got really strong reservations about why we're actually doing this.
I'm probably trying to avoid a debate.
I suppose that even while I was there, the car came along, and the amount of wear on the road itself would be indicative of not just 1 or 2 cars a day. So I'm just a bit perplexed.
Mr. Mather, do you have a picture of the road?
Certainly pictures of the road, yes. If it hasn't been maintained, I'm not sure how the councillor can ascertain.
I'm not going to get into an argument.
No, neither am I.
The question wasn't about the road, so do you have that picture with you?
Look, only on
Telephone,
phone, I think.
Maybe we should use Councillor Sutherland's just for the other councillors' benefit. And while that's here, I'll maybe ask Ms. Morrow, did we do a traffic count as well?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, no, that's not something that has been undertaken as part of this review. The road is not under Council's maintenance program. It is considered a government road, and we don't apply. It's not a public road, therefore it's not on our register, and we do not maintain that road.
Can we see the photo?
It's not maintained by us. I'm a little concerned.
Is it maintained by
Someone maintains it anyway.
Yes, I was right.
who maintains it?
Did you want to look at that, Mr. Mather, just for...
That was this afternoon.
That was this afternoon.
That's actually a good road.
Well,
But if we don't maintain it, we don't
what
need
is
to
that?
maintain it.
Do we know who does?
No, but maybe Mr. Mather might, maybe if I can ask one of the officers to show Mr. Mather just overall a little bit of
Yeah, I think certainly we've maintained it intermittently. I'm not sure if there's a regular maintenance schedule, but certainly our vehicles use it to travel around the site to make sure that our site is secure. Noting again that it does, divide 2 of our adjoining land holdings.
So are you telling us that Boral maintains that road?
We have in the past. Yeah, I'm not sure what the maintenance schedule will be.
Is there an agreement in place with the landowner on the maintenance of that?
No, there's no agreement in place, but we do have vehicles that use that, as I said, to go around property and check for security.
Okay.
Through the chair,
Yes.
can I ask officers, Mr. Jeffrey, to just confirm that we don't maintain that road?
We can. Mr. Jeffrey.
Mr. Mayor, if you give me 1 minute, I'm just checking our register of roads in the road management plan. That will definitively tell us whether it's...
There is 700 kilometres of road, so it's a fairly large task. It's a big thing to do in a minute. But, so, any other questions while Mr. Jeffrey's looking at that? Councillor Jeffrey.
Question, Mr. Mayor, to the officers. Have we got something in writing from the landowner to say that he's happy to have the road closed?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. An email was received after conversations between Laurel and Mr. Ryan to say that the preliminary discussions were agreed to, pending further the agreement between the two parties coming to play. But the main concepts of the agreement were agreed upon, and an email was received, and I was forwarded that email, yes. So the actual agreement hasn't been handed over as yet. That's yet to be constructed and finalised. But the components and the context around the agreement has been agreed in principle through an email from Mr. Ryan.
Can we confirm Mr. Ryan's the only resident down there? Is that?
Well, I think he was the one. He was the submitter. It's not the road comes from Yendon to Dunstown or the Navigators. It's not just he probably used it. Maybe others. Well, obviously others do use it. I still want today. So he was the person who put a submission in. So I guess that are others who possibly use it that haven't put a submission in. That's only I can surmise. Just a question though, if I may, I've office work. I know we're talking about this agreement, but there's nothing in the recommendation as I see it that refers to an agreement. And at the end of the day, it's only the recommendation that has weight.
So we'll certainly need an amendment to
So I'm of the view we should defer this, to be honest with you.
Would you like to present a motion to defer?
I will move that we defer this.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Sorry, Mr. Nathan, we'll come back to the next meeting based on that letter of agreement, and we'll do it all again.
I'm going to suggest that the letter of agreement form part of the budget. Geez, the agenda.
Yes, we don't save a lot of time. That's fair.
It may well be that letter of agreement is only for one person who uses it. There might be a lot of other people that use it as well.
But if that one's submitted,
Well, what if they haven't been notified?
Mr Mayor, just a point of order, have we voted and moved on from the road?
we have, but it's already correct, Councillor Evans, we have to move on. Righto, so we'll move on to item 12.2, proposed discontinuance of the portion of Government Road and Howard Road in Navigators.
That's the one.
Oh, sorry, sorry. I know, it's 12.3, must be the solution. And section 86, delegated committees and council reports.
I'm happy to move the recommendation.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. So we've got no community asset and infrastructure reports. So we'll move into community planning reports 14.1. Planning scheme amendments C91, flood controls, authorisations, questions, councillors.
I just have a question for me. I think I know the answer, but I want clarification. Will the LSO or the BSO, if it affects the property, only apply to the area along the waterway, not the whole of the property? Is that right or not?
Just got that one.
I can answer that, Mr Mayor. The flood overlays, the LSIO or the SBO will only apply to the areas affected by the 1 in 100-year flood.
Yeah, so theoretically, you've got a property, waterway along, that's only that bit that's affected. So if somebody wanted to do some development up here, they're not impinged upon, that's all. Not like,
That's correct.
okay, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Any other questions, councillors? No? In your hands.
I'll move the
Thank
recommendation.
you, Councillor Sullivan.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. So we'll move on to item 14.2, Cryle Castle Development Camping Ground Caravan Park associated with a place of settlement. Any questions, councillors?
Just one if I may. So, this is sort of development that will be associated with the activities on site, or will it be a caravan park that could have long-term tenancy? What's the take on that?
Mr Phillips, is that for you?
Through the mayor,
It is a caravan on its own, but it's anticipated that it's being used in association with the Prior Castle development.
Any other questions, Councillor? Councillor
A question to our officers. This is like a Clayton's permit.
With respect, Councillor Cow, I'm not sure that's a question.
Well, is it often that we have a permit that has got, you can't use the permit because the conditions haven't been applied, haven't been complied with?
You don't actually say this is
Well, through the chair, there is a current permit that allows some limited camping, and they've applied to make camping a permanent fixture on that site. So it's not unusual for a site to have multiple uses.
well played.
I'll move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Solomon.
Second.
Thank you, Councillor Dawson. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried.
Could I say it's a very comprehensive report?
It was a good report, yes.
If I may say that.
Who wrote that?
This is Mac.
Well done.
We'll pass on there again.
We're good.
Thank you. Okay, we're up to 15.1, Assembly and Council. Raise your hands.
I'll move, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Dawson. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. We have no notices of motion. We have no notices of rescission, so we'll go to the Mayor's report. That was said around earlier. Any questions? Thank you, Councillor Solomon.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Dumpy. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. We'll move on to councillor reports. We can start with you, please, Councillor Solomon.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. A few matters to report to Council. On Thursday, the 8th of August, I attended and chaired the triennial AGM from our Legend Hall Committee. A new committee was installed with some new members. Monday, the 26th of August in the morning, I attended the MAB Rural South Central meeting in Bannockburn. There was considerable discussion regarding the recycling crisis that was affecting council and residents, and particularly with the SKM situation. The local government bill was also discussed. In the evening, I attended and chaired the AGM of the Millbrook Community Centre, again, installed again with some new members. Wednesday, the 18th of August, I attended and chaired the AGM of the Navigators Community Centre. A new committee was installed, a new committee was installed with replacing the old committee being reinstalled. The matter of incorporation was discussed, and I advised the meeting that Council was looking at the community grant area and the arrangements between committees and Council, and they should be involved in solving this when the time comes. Friday, the 30th of August, I attended and chaired the Grampian Central West Waste and Resource Recovery Local Government Forum in Creswick. It's interesting, of the 12 member councils, 8 of the member councils are now taking their recyclings to landfill because they have contracts with SKM. We were also advised that the SKM debt has been sold to Cleanaway, and the government has provided, I think it was $10 million loan to the receivers through this process. We're also given a presentation by Angela Hofnagels of Delp on the circular economy, which is the buzzword at the moment. The presentation was very informative, but I think we just need to watch this space. Later in the meeting, a motion was passed that requested the government, as a sign of goodwill, not require payment of the landfill levy on recycling deposited in the landfill as a result of the current crisis. 2, introduce a CDL scheme and the use of glass fines in road making material and construction. Mr Mayor, later in urgent business, I'll flag perhaps a motion with respect to the landfill levy, if I may, because the government actually makes money out of recyclers going to landfill. After the meeting, we went on a tour of the Hepburn Shire Council's biodigester facility at the Creswick Transfer Station. This is a pilot that they have there, which basically takes food scraps from the RAC River Resort at Creswick and processes them in that fashion. So it's a pilot, but it seems to be very positive and going forward. Just as an observation, I think that the committees of management that operate throughout this council on reserves and facilities do a fantastic job, and with limited resources they really make a dollar go a long way, I can assure you. And I think that something we need to keep watching brief on is that we probably need to invest in trying to attract new members on these committees of management over the next few years, because they seem to be getting older, and I think there just seems to be a dearth of young blood coming in. So I think it's something, and other councils may have a similar observation, I think it's something as a council we could potentially proactively do something in that space to try and encourage people. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Sullivan, yeah, I'd concur with it. At Gordon, the other day was coming back, the same problem, that there was no young people there, and inevitably that will create a problem.
Yes, sure.
So I agree. Councillor Evans.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Just two things of interest to council. To report on the 27th of August, I went to the Blacksmith AGM. It's great to see that they're in a good position, and the Blacksmith's Cottage, which is part of Bacchus Marsh Heritage, has been well looked after by that committee, and they're working well with council, which was excellent. There was also Mr. Graham Simpson gave a speech on Leslie Gordon Knight, who was a World War II bomber veteran who was very much accoladed, and it was his uncle. So he's tied to the local area and buried in France, and I won't go into great details about the story tonight, but for anyone who's interested, it's a really good read, and it's a bit of our local history I certainly wasn't aware of, so that was excellent. And on the 27th of August with the Perry Urban Group, I met with Marianne Thomas, Steve McGee and Jordan Kerndale to talk about the VAGO report and how the Perry Urban Group, and Moorabool in particular, have been very disadvantaged with regional funding, and how we're not getting our fair share, and how that needs to turn around. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Can I just ask a question? I mean, how did Marianne Thomas respond to that report?
The politicians were very receptive to our points of view, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've got a few items to report. On the 11th of August, I attended the Belen RSL Centenary. On the 13th of August, I was at the Municipal Emergency Management meeting. On the 14th of August was the Audit and Risk Committee. On the 15th of August, I attended the Perry Urban Group meeting. On the 21st of August, I attended the Heritage Advisory Committee and chaired it. On the 22nd of August, I attended the Providence Rally for a pedestrian crossing and a bus shelter. And yesterday, I attended the Special Audit and Risk Committee to present the annual statements.
On the 22nd of August, I attended the Providence Village Rally for a pedestrian crossing. On the 23rd of August, I attended the Moorabool Kids Great Day Out, which is put on by Ballyang East Primary School, which is great for all the primary schools in the area. And yesterday, the 3rd of September, I attended the special meeting of the Audit and Risk Committee for the annual reports and financial statement.
Thank you, Councillor. Just on that, the Ballyang Primary School run that school program there was some children there that came from Knox and places from all over.
They come from all different schools, but there is a lot of rural schools in it. It's a lot of the smaller schools are part of it. Basically, anyone that wants to get up and perform can, and the kids love it.
Very entertaining.
It's like a big party for kids.
Yes, very entertaining. Thank you. All right, this is Councillor Sullivan, you had something.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just as I flagged in my council report, I would move that the Moorabool Shire Council write to the Minister, the Honourable Lily D'Ambrosio, requesting that during the recycling crisis, that recycling deposited in landfill will be exempt from the landfill levy.
I'm happy to second.
Councillor Dozier, thank you. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Councillor Evans,
No urgent business, Mr. Mayor.
No? Okay, Councillor Kerr.
No, it's Mr. Mayor.
No urgent business.
Thank you, Councillor. Now, I don't know whether from the chair I can have a small report. Or do you want me to vacate the chair to do it, or it's only basic?
Just do it.
Yeah, it's just a report. We've got a, and it's probably more a catch up to it. There's been a group write to me, and a lawyer writes to me about PFOS being part of the wind farm arrangement out on their property. And when they went to the government said that it was the council's responsibility. And when I spoke to them this afternoon, I said, well, I'm not sure we have that responsibility. So I suppose my urgent business is we find out whose responsibility it is and then see who we need to get to act on it. So if I could ask for that.
Question if I may. Through you, Mr. Mayor, would that normally those sorts of contamination issues wouldn't be dealt by local council? That would be the responsibility of EPA, surely.
I think the issue here is that they just want a response to say whether we're responsible or something. So I think that I don't know the answer to that. So I made Mr. Jeffrey might have someone here like. So certainly talking about the rules, we'll find out.
I'm happy to second if that's a motion.
Yeah, so recommendation to the CEO rather than to.
I'm happy to second it. Oh, I'll move it and you second
Councillor
it.
Dudley move, I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
So the motion will have to come from somebody.
I moved
Yeah.
it.
Oh, sorry.
Moved by Councillor Dudley.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
called ventriloquism.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. Seconded by Councillor Evans. So carried. Thank you. So I thought I should have organised something.
You did, Mr. Mayor, I forgot.
I wasn't going to mention that Councillor Evans, but
Good morning, Barrington.
so there you go. So, councillors, all the urgent business is done.
That's it.
That's it. So we're closed. Thank you, councillors.
Ahead of time.
Ahead of time. You are. Yes, it doesn't sit out at all. Don't take it up.
I'm sure that some of them
Yeah, someone will run this one. I don't think
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I had it.
okay, it's easy to sit here and make something.
I wasn't happy about
Well, I suppose the point is
There's a second time.
that's all.
So they're calling you being one and me being two.
It's great, isn't it?
I've never heard of it until I decided to do it. Why did I ever say
Sorry, Matt.
It's all in the mind.
Which was more.
Well,